Huh.
Hey guys, Orion Lonestar here, back with another episode of Agrarian Skies. Anyway, I've got a lot to show you guys. I've been busy in between episodes, and sorry it's taken so long to get this episode out. I've been busy in real life. You know, got a full time job now, so a little harder to record, but anyway, let's show you guys around before we get started on doing quests. I've been busy making a lot of farms here. I've got me a little desert farm, growing some cacti. Got some wheat here, carrots, and then kind of a mix with strawberries, candleberries, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, beans, artichokes, asparagus, and some lettuce that plan to be using later. I plan to have more farms like this built in the near future here. And I also got plenty of sugarcane growing. Now, as some of you may notice, my smeltery is gone. That is because I've moved it. Oh, yes. Also, I've got my little fruit orchard going on here, with some walnuts, vanilla beans, peppercorns, apples, avocado, coconut, limes. Put the lime in the coconut. Dragon fruit. Got some olives going on here. Some nutmeg. Pomegranates. Plums. Some cocoa beans. Star fruit. Got some pears. Some peaches. And some papayas. All grown right up in here. But I've had me a little factory in here, ender generator, got my energy cell going on, induction smelter, magma crucible, fluid transposer, furnace, auto brewer, lava fabricator, igneous extruder, which I've been using primarily just to make obsidian, just in this one right here. Oh, and a ton of nether wart, because I plan on getting into making more and more potions later. I need to turn that off. Alright. Okay. Now, I don't remember if I showed you this in the last episode. Yeah, I did. My little tree farm I got going on here. Get plenty of wood. I've got another barrel in this room here, just full of wood. And then all the sludge. I actually used my fly potion, flew down far enough that the sludge boiler, it's not going to hurt you if you're standing close by when it's doing its thing. And it's been giving me a lot of resources. Um, all my sand and dirt that I got from it, I've been putting it to good use over here. And I still got a ton more. Some condensed dirt stashed away. But yes, going back to my smeltery here, I've moved it. I've got me a whole setup here that automatically breaks down cobblestone into its various forms, gravel, sand, and dust. And it's all controlled primarily right here. I do have switches. I'll show you guys how I set that up in just a second. That I can manually turn off any of my pulverizers here. And that's done with the Tinker's Mech Work stuff. I'll show you how that's all built in just a minute. But right now, I just have my first pulverizer that's getting cobblestone from my igneous extruder here, and that's making sand and gravel, both of which I have coming down this pipe into this chest, which I have the chest there to kind of act as a filter for all the stuff that can come down through my pulverizers. Then from there, it goes into my autonomous activators. And I do have the pipe here set up for, I believe, round robin. Let me get down under here. Yeah, round robin. So it gives it to both. This one more so than this one, but that's not a big deal. Anyway, it goes to the autonomous activators into two sieves, and when it does its thing, comes all the goodies come to this vacuum hopper. I did take the idea from, I believe it was Generic B, but I've kind of done my own modifications to his system. Having to do all the stuff he was, having to load it and all that, I didn't want to do, So I set up real simple, three pulverizers side by side, all feeding into each other. You come back here, I've got two ender generators providing energy to my hardened energy cell, and then they just simply go up into the back of the pulverizers. That's it. That's all the energy that's used right there. Then just simple item ducts, pretty much three of them into a single chest. One that splits them into the autonomous activators. Then from there, autonomous activators do their things, put them in the sieve, and then they come through back here into the sorting system. Now, on the back, I do have the pneumatic servo in each one of these with each specific item whitelisted, meaning that's the only item that's going in there, and it should, and it does, pull it almost directly to it. But I have all the types of ores, of both, from gravel, sand, and the dust, including everything else it gives you: diamonds, emeralds, the whole works. Only problem I have right now is that these cocoa beans don't like to go down into there. No big deal, but I just have to make sure I take them from here, throw them down there. Oops. And then I have my overflow chest. If these don't get filled up, then this will, but if these are filled up, I have something going on wrong. But anyway, rebuilt my smeltery, raised it to pretty much max of what you need it at. Brought all my Tinker's Construct stuff out here and made it all good. I've been working on extending my platform so I have more space to build. But what I'm going to be doing is where the smeltery was, in this spot over here, I'm actually probably going to make an automatic melon farm. Because right now I love melon juice. That's what I survive off of. Chickens. I've already got stacks and stacks of eggs. Simple chicken egg farm. You got two signs in there holding up the water. The chickens have a 2-block space. Let me go up here and show you. Bloop. And I don't even know how many chickens I have in there, truthfully. I threw a bunch of them in, made a bunch of arrows, threw them in. Been getting eggs. Got all this food, and I'm still just surviving off of melon juice. Because it's so good. So good. Anyway, today I think we're going to try to finish off all the quests in Chapter 1. Get it done with. I've been looking at a bunch of the other chapters. I want to get into the food, the bees. Excuse me on that. So, that's why we're just going through Chapter 1 like it's nothing. Anyway, I had to make an auto brewer, which you guys saw in under my orchard. So we're getting some potions, half a heart, and a reward bag. Now, as you guys know, my luck with the reward bags have completely sucked. I can't get anything good from them most of the time. But let's see what we got. We got crystal clusters. What the heck are those from? I don't know. Thaumcraft. Figures, but where did I put them? Okay, I'll put them in here. I'll have to look into those a little later. Give me my mana bean. I'll throw my mana bean in here. Yes, I still got a ton of seeds, and I will plant them all. I will have a massive farming area that is going to span from there all the way around, have one layer, probably swing around if I have to, of just the various types of fruits, vegetables. I may even have to start another orchard. But originally, when I was building, I was thinking of going to Thaumcraft stuff next, so I made me a nice little Thaumcraft area that I can do all my works, make it a little more witchy, wizardy. And yes, as some of you noticed, I do have some Resident Ender. I took some of my Ender Pearls, which, if you guys saw when we first came in, I have 12 full stacks, plus I probably have another stack in there, and another stack in my chest, another 2 stacks out in my chest by my complete auto miner. But anyway, let's go back to the auto miner and how I did these switches. You need a couple things. It's from the Tinker's Mech Works, so you'll need a signal terminal, which is simply made by making a signal bus, which is 3 lengths of wire and 3 stone slabs. Lengths of wire made by making aluminum brass, 3 of them gives you 8 lengths of wire. But you take 2 signal buses and a piece of glass, and then you get one of these. Now, down here are signal buses and more signal terminals. Now, what these terminals do, they pretty much give a redstone charge to the oakwood planks, which turns on or off my pulverizers. So that's why those 3 blocks are up there with the bus, with the terminals on them. And through research, you can't just connect a signal terminal to a signal terminal. It has to go through an intermediary signal bus with the spool of wire. Now, what you do with this, I'll break that, is once you got your signal bus down, you put it there, you take your spool of wire, come to the end of the signal terminal, click it, and then click where you want it, the signal bus. Now, you want to connect this one to this one up here. You can't click the bus first. You actually have to click the terminal and go to the signal bus. So from the terminal to the signal bus, and you're all good. Now, a few other things you can do with this, if I wanted to, I can actually just use this one signal bus to operate all this. But what I would have to do is I'd have to come up here, click on the terminal's white band, and it'll change colors. Now, right now, if I flip this switch, which controls this first one, it's not going to do nothing because the terminals don't match. Now they do, just by making them both orange. Now what this does is allow you to run all of your wire to one bus, and from this one bus have it go out to each of the terminals. So if I made each of these a different color, then I would only have to use one. But just for making sure everything's working properly, I had them all the same color, and there's like 16 different colors here. So from one bus, you can control 16 different terminals with 16 different switches, or use one terminal and you just have to switch the colors to control everything. But just so you all can see what's going on, I made each one go to a different bus. I may change that later, who knows. But to make a spool of wire, what you need to do is make a stone tool rod. And surround it. That's not wanting to show the recipe, but you'd put the stone tool rod here in the center, and then you would surround it with lengths of wire. Now, before you make sure you have a good amount of length of wire, because once you initially make the spool of wire, you have to add wire to it. That means you have to have more of these, and you just do it the same way. You'd put the spool of wire in the center and surround it with lengths of wire. And as you can see, that'll fill it up. And you don't need a full, obviously, as you just saw, don't need a full spool or full 8 to put it on. You can add each one individually if you wanted, but it's not needed. Anyway, let's go back to the quest book here, and let's finish up Never Again, which it's wanting one angry and one creepy doll. Now you can make dolls pretty easily. It's a precious doll. You need either a diamond or an emerald to make it, along with porcelain clay, which is taking clay and bone meal, mixing them together, you get porcelain clay. And that's how you make just a basic doll. Now to make an angry doll, you need some nether wart, 4 blaze powders, and 2 glowstone dust. And 1 redstone. And you get a blaze doll, or angry doll. Angry dolls, if you put them in a stone barrel of lava, it'll pop out a blaze. So later on, when I actually get my monster spawner up, I plan to be capturing a blaze that way. Creepy doll, same thing, except you use ink sacs, lapis lazuli, redstone, and nether wart, which they can be flipped, redstone and nether wart. And that's how you make a creepy doll. If you throw a creepy doll in witch's water, which I have right over here where I have my mycelium. Right in there. That's witchy water. Evil stuff, man. Evil stuff. But that's how you get that. So let's go up here, grab me one of each doll, and complete that portion of the quest.